Second law of chemical combination is a law of definite proportion or law of constant composition. This law was given by the scientist named J.L. Proust. This law deals with the composition of element in particular compound. So according to this law, particular compound is always made up of same elements which are combining together in the same fixed proportion by mass. Example, in the case of water, whatever the source of water is, whether it is obtained from river or lake or it is prepared in the lab, it is always made up of same elements, that is hydrogen and oxygen, which are combining together in the same fixed ratio by mass. So what is the ratio of elements in water? We all know the formula of water. So whatever the source of water is, in this hydrogen and oxygen will always combine in same fixed ratio proportion by mass. So what is the ratio of hydrogen oxygen in water? We know that hydrogen, single atom of hydrogen is having mass 1 and a single atom of oxygen is having mass 16. It means in this case the ratio is 2:16. On simplification, the ratio is 1:8. It means dividing both the side by 2, it will give 1:8 ratio. It means hydrogen and oxygen will always combine in a fixed ratio of 1:8 to form water. So whatever the source of water is, it will always formed by 1:8 ratio of hydrogen and oxygen by mass. Similarly, in the case of CO2 also, so whatever the method of preparation of CO2, similar fixed ratio proportion by mass carbon and oxygen will be combining to form CO2. So example, on decomposition of calcium carbonate, we can prepare CO2 by decomposition of calcium carbonate. Second, decomposition of sodium bicarbonate will also give CO2. So there will be formation of Na2CO3, H2O and CO2 will evolve. Third, we can also prepare CO2 by combining directly carbon and oxygen. So there will be formation of CO2 will take place. Further, on action of dilute HCl on calcium carbonate will also prepare CO2. Formation of CaCl2, H2O and CO2. So whatever the method of preparation of CO2, in this case carbon oxygen will always combine in a fixed ratio proportion by mass to form CO2. So what is the ratio of carbon oxygen in CO2? We know that carbon is having mass 12, oxygen, single atom of oxygen is having mass 16. In this there are 2 atoms. It means the ratio will be 12:32. On simplification, if we divide both the side by 4, so the ratio will be on simplification is 3:8. It means carbon and oxygen will always combine in a same fixed ratio of 3:8 by mass to form CO2. So whatever the method of preparation of CO2, there will always be same fixed ratio proportion by mass, carbon and oxygen will be combining. So what is the ratio in which they are combining? That is 3:8 ratio by mass. But there are few limitations in which law of definite proportion is not followed. In the case of isotope, if particular element is existing in more than one isotope, example carbon is having 2 isotope, one is carbon 12 and other is carbon 14. So in the case of different isotope, the fixed ratio proportion by mass will be different. So what is happening in this case, if this carbon which is having mass 12 is combining to form CO2, then the ratio of carbon oxygen which will be obtained is 12:32. whereas in this case carbon 14, because the mass of this isotope is different, it is 14, then the CO2 formed by this isotope is having a different mass composition from this carbon 12 CO2. The ratio is 14:32. So in both the cases, because the mass of the isotope, that is the carbon, is different, because of that different ratio by mass is obtained. So we cannot compare two different isotopes compound to each other because of the different masses. So in the case of different isotopes, this law of definite proportion is not followed. Second, in the case of, this is the first case. In the second case, if elements are combining in same fixed ratio proportion by mass, still the compound which is formed can be different. Example, ethanol. We know that what is the formula of ethanol? C2H5OH. Similarly, in the case of ether, dimethyl ether, formula CH3OCH3. So this is ethanol, this is dimethyl ether. These two compounds are different, but the elements, the same elements, are combining in same fixed proportion by mass in both the compounds. So the general formula of both the compound is given as C2H6O. Both are following this general formula. It means the elements are combining in same fixed ratio in both the cases. So what is the ratio? In this case, we know that what is the mass of carbon? Carbon is having mass 12. In this case, there are 2 carbon. It means the total mass is 24. Hydrogen is having mass 1. So 6:2. Oxygen is having mass 16. So this is the ratio which is present in both the cases. Still the compound which is formed are different. It means in this case it is not necessary the compound will be similar if the elements are combining in same fixed ratio by mass, as in the case of ethanol and dimethyl ether. So in this case, law of definite proportion is not followed. So now let's start some problems based on law of definite proportion. So first problem, 2.16 gram of copper metal when treated with HNO3 followed by ignition of nitrate gave 2.70 gram of copper oxide. In another experiment, 1.15 gram of copper oxide upon reduction with hydrogen gave 0.92 gram of copper. Show that the above data illustrate the law of definite proportion. So before solving any problem, write down all the data which is given in the question. So in this case, the copper is having mass 2.16. Copper is 2.16, having mass 2.16, which is treated with HNO3. So on treatment with HNO3, there will be formation of nitrate is taking place, because as you can see in the question, 2.16 gram of copper metal when treated with HNO3 followed by ignition of nitrate. It means first of all there is a formation of nitrate, copper nitrate, which on ignition giving copper oxide which is having mass 2.7670 gram. So this is the first case. In the second case, copper oxide is having 1.15 gram. So in this case, copper oxide is having 1.15 gram in the second experiment, which on reduction with hydrogen, so it is reacted with hydrogen, reduction is taking place. So there is a formation of copper. So there is a formation of copper is taking place. This copper is having mass 0.92 gram. So how we will solve this problem? So in both the cases, there is two things are common. In both the cases, there is a mass of copper and copper oxide is given. Similarly, in this case also, there is a mass of copper oxide and copper is given, whether the reactions are different. So we can obtain obtain the percentage of copper and oxygen in this copper oxide in both the cases. So if the percentage of copper and copper oxide will be coming same, then this reaction in both the cases, it is following a law of definite proportion. So in the first case, 2.70 gram of copper oxide is obtained from 2.16 gram of copper. So 100 gram of copper oxide will be obtained from 2.16 into 100 divided by 2.70 of copper oxide. So percentage of copper can be obtained by solving this problem. So it is coming 80%. It means 80% of copper is present in 100 gram of copper oxide. Similarly, we can also obtain percentage of oxygen in this 100 gram of copper oxide. So what is the percentage of oxygen present in this copper oxide? 100 minus 80, so the percentage of oxygen is 20%. Similarly, in the second case, in this case copper oxide is 1.15 gram of copper oxide, which is having 0.92 gram of copper. It means this much of copper oxide on reduction giving 0.92 gram of copper. So 100 gram of copper oxide will give 0.92 into 100 divided by 1.15. So the percentage of copper which will be obtained in this case after solution is coming same as in the first case. It is 80%. 80% of copper is obtained. It means oxygen, in this case also the percentage of oxygen which is present in 100 gram of copper oxide is 20%. It means 100 minus 80 will give 20% of oxygen. So it means in both the cases the percentage of copper and oxygen is the same. It means it is following a law of definite proportion.